Hello, this video describes how I installed a whole home sediment filtration system for our house water, which we needed badly. I've seen some other videos online, and my neighbor has installed one of these as well to improve water quality. This is a final photo you're looking at, and you'll see step-by-step other photos. So let's get to the beginning here. There we go. There's a plain block wall. I've installed two pieces of wood sort of toward the bottom. That is where I secured the brackets for the filters themselves. And if you look at the top, the pipe coming across from left to right has a couple clean spots. I cleaned off my copper. It's 1/2 inch copper coming in. And if you look on the right, you see two blue pipes. Those are for the water softener. So this is before. Filters go in before the softener. The two pipes coming down the middle feed my wash basin in the basement. So the first cut, I've installed a T-joint using a sharkbite fitting, which I found online at a better price than a big box store, and then installed two pieces of PEX and two valves. The one on the top will be used to shut off the main to divert the water down to the other valve, which you see, which will then lead to the filters. But the second valve, which is down below, is used to shut off with the filters in case I need to work on them or change a filter insert or cartridge. Then I could shut that water off there. And of course, before you make any cut, you want to shut off the main water anyway. I've installed here an elbow joint and the filter tops, which include the brackets. Brackets go right in. I wanted to make sure everything's sort of lined up. The PEX is nice and flexible. It's 1/2 inch PEX. It's not very expensive. And the push fittings mean you don't have to do any soldering. You do have to be careful that once you push the PEX pipe into a fitting that you do hit some resistance at first and you think it's in far enough, and then you could go further. So try to make sure you push your PEX pipe into your fittings as far as you can. Maybe give it a second effort. So I've got my two filters there, and I'm working my way down and around. You'll see that the last piece is installed there on the far right with another elbow joint going up to another T-joint, which will then feed the water into the softener system. So overall, it wasn't that difficult to do. You just want to make sure you measure well, and cutting the PEX is fairly simple. I don't have a PEX cutter. I used a hacksaw, and I was able to use a sander to sort of fine-tune the edges. You want a nice clean fitting for pushing into your fittings. Into the filter tops, I also made sure I used thread tape, 3 or 4 wraps, and you want to install those in as tightly as possible. Those are 1/2 inch push fittings to 3/4 inch male threaded, and those were also found online at a better price than what you find at a big box store. And then eventually you would just put the bottoms onto the filters with the cartridges, turn on the water, make sure there's no leaks, and give it a few cycles. Once you turn your main water on, turn something else on to kick some of that air out, and after a while you should be good to go with better water.